వచ్చే టేస్ట్.
Hello everybody. So if you have not scanned here yet, you could please only Tech Mahindra people. Okay, could you please scan here and register yourself, and you can collect your badges from outside. Thank you everybody. And also, if anybody wants to use the washroom and drink water, it's on the first floor. Thank you. Also, if your friends or your colleagues or anybody else who could not make it here, you can, the YouTube link is in your emails, you can tell them to join us from there. Yes, thank you. So if your friends or your colleagues or
నువ్వు ఒక్కడే అన్నట్టుగా కాదు న్యూస్లో నువ్వు ఇట్లా కాదు కానీ రీఛార్జ్ చేసుకుంటే ఒకసారి పోనీ 1 GB ఈ జియో ఎప్పుడు వేసుకుంటే అప్పుడే అయిపోతుంది.
when you're scanning there and registering, you can use your personal emails. We need not switch to the Tech Mahindra emails. Thank you.
Check. 1 check. 1 check. 1 check.
స్క్రీన్ మన సైడ్ ఇంకోపోయినా కరెక్ట్ గివి అవసరం మన గిడ వాడు ఎందుకులే కరెక్టే ఉంది.
స్కాన్ చేస్తాం
అది టెక్ మహీంద్రా లెక్క మనకు కాదు. టెక్ మహీంద్రా బ్రీఫ్ ఉంటుంది అన్నది వాష్రూమ్స్ అది ఇది అని.
అంటే మనం వాష్రూమ్ పోవాలంటే స్కాన్ చేయాలి.
వాష్రూమ్ కాదు, టెక్ మహేంద్ర పీపుల్ ఎవరెవరు నీడ్ ఉంటే ఎంప్లాయీస్ వాళ్ళు స్కాన్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎంప్లాయీస్ కాదు. ఎవరికైనా వాష్రూమ్స్ అవసరం అయితే ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్లో ఉన్నాయి. ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్ ఇక్కడ ఎవరంటే ఫోటోగ్రఫీ
వాడు ఆఫీస్ బాయ్ అంటే
అందుకే మంచి ఇంటర్వ్యూ వేసుకుని వచ్చింది.
ఏం లేదు తెలియదు ఏంది చాయ్ బిస్కెట్లు అవ్వ ఇవ్వ.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఆల్రెడీ రికార్డ్ అవుతుందా?
రికార్డు కొట్టాలి. డెస్క్టాప్ మీద రికార్డ్ అవుతుంది అన్నట్టు. ఇప్పుడు
అవునా? అట్లా
పెట్టి హార్డ్ డిస్క్ పెట్టాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఆప్షన్ చూపెడతలేదు.
వేడైతుందా?
ఎండ స్ట్రీమ్ కాదు తెలుసా, ఎండాకాలంలో
వేడిగా
ఆఫ్ అయిపోతుంది కెమెరా.
నేను ఒకసారి ఎండాకాలంలో వైజాగ్ బీచ్ పోయినా. ఆడు ఫోటోలు తీస్తారు అంటారు కదా నార్మల్గా బీచ్లలో. వాడు ఏం చేసింది తెలుసా, ఒక క్లాత్ మొత్తం కెమెరాకి చుట్టుకున్నాడు మొత్తం. ఎప్పుడన్నా ఫోటో కావాలంటే క్లాత్ ఇస్తాను, ఫోటో ఇస్తాను, మళ్ళీ మూస్తాను వాడు. నేను ఎందులో అనుకున్నాయి అంతా.
కొందరు తెలిసిన వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. ఈరోజు ఏమన్నా వస్తున్నారు
వీడికా ఇలా మనకు వచ్చింది కానీ నాన్ ఐటీ.
అవునా?
హెడ్ ఉన్నట్టున్నాడు.
అర్థలే.
తొందరనే వస్తుంది. పబ్లిక్ పెట్టినా ప్రైవేటా
ఏది
ఇప్పుడు
ఇది స్ట్రీమ్ అయ్యేది దీని నుండి.
రికార్డు
స్ట్రీమ్
మంచిగా ఉంది. ఇదే ఫ్రేమ్ మంచిగా ఉంది. కలరింగ్ మంచిగా ఉంది. అటు ఇటు దొరుకుతూ ఉండాలి వచ్చినవి కదా.
ఓపెన్ చేసిన మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు అది ఓపెన్ చేస్తే వినబడుతుంది మనం మాట్లాడేది రెండు మైకులు ఉంటాయి అన్నట్టు అది వాడుతున్నా నేను ఇంకోటి తీసుకున్నాను ఇంకోటి కూడా రికార్డ్ అవుతుంది కనెక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది
డిస్టెన్స్
Morning, Hyderabad. Can you hear me? I'm audible? Yes. Great. Wonderful to see all of you here. I think everybody is also very happy today. It's very heavily outside, but still I'm very happy to see the presence here. Thank you very much for turning up on a rainy day. And before we begin, a quick question to all of you. How many of us have been seen SRE job description that reads like a superhero casting call? Like must know cloud, Kubernetes, databases, networking, security, CI/CD, observability, automation, coding, incident management, and ideally he should be fixing the office Wi-Fi too. Right? So there was once an organization who hired their first SRE engineer, and on the day one, the manager handed over this exact list to him. So he smiled and then told, "Should I also make the copy reliable?" So that's the way SRE is being understood by many people, right? So that is often how SRE got misunderstood. So SRE is not a one-person rescue team or a checklist of every technology skill a person should have, right? It's a shared engineering mindset basically, and where teams build reliable systems together, automate intelligently, learn from failures, and continuously improve. That is exactly what brings us together here. Welcome once again to SREday 2026, and let's spend the day together. It's a community learning, so thanks to all the community leaders who were gracing with their presence today. We have an IIT CEO with us, and many speakers who are actually traveling across the city, and Mark is actually traveling from the Poland, so thank you all. And I will hand it over from here to our MC Sartaj, Ramya, and team, and they will be your host for the day. They will take you through the day's proceedings. So over to you, Sartaj, please.
Good morning, everybody. Little louder. It's early in the morning. We should have a lot of energy. It's not the session after lunch. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah. Hi. How are you all doing? Good. Okay. I know it's a Saturday and it is weekend, so energy will be low. But let's try to keep our energy up. So a very warm welcome to everybody, and it's very nice to see all of you here early in the morning. Thank you so much for being here. And are we ready to get started now? Yes. All right. So, on the behalf of the entire SREday Hyderabad community, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Joining me would be Ramya here, and thank you for really joining us today. Today is not just another conference or another meetup, but it is something very, very important and happy for us because it's the first SREday Hyderabad to 2026. You are the first time in Hyderabad. So let's give a round of applause, everybody. Alright, so before we get started, let's check everybody's energy over here. So are we ready? Yes. Okay, great. So what we are going to do is, this two rows would be on the left side, and here on the right we have the other two rows. So whenever I say an even number, you all are gonna shout SRE, okay? And when Ramya says an odd number, you all should shout day. Alright? Are we ready? Okay, let's do one practice. So when I say the number 2, SRE. Okay. When I say 1, okay, great. We will measure your energy level. Okay, so we'll start with the left. When I say even number, the left side should shout SRE, and when Ramya says day, the right side should shout day. Okay, so 5, 2, SRE, 4. Is it SRE or day? Okay. 3, 7, 2, SRE. 2, SRE. 7, 7. Okay. So thank you everybody. So let's proceed from here. Yeah. So what makes today more special is not just the speakers of the sessions, but it's also all the people who have traveled from everywhere in the city and come here, because our community or any community is not built by the stages or by the banners or everything here. It's built by the conversations that we are going to have here, the experiences that we are going to share over here, and all that we are going to learn from each other today. And today, as I said, we are starting the very first chapter of our SREday Hyderabad. And it is not only going to be about learning today. We are going to take back one idea that we are going to take back home, and one conversation, one insight, which may help us change the way we work tomorrow. Alright, so now Hyderabad, are we ready? Yes. Once again, a little louder please, are we ready? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So every great journey has a beginning, and every great community has a first chapter, and every meaningful gathering that we have begins with a moment of purpose. So today we are not just launching an event, we are launching a community, and a community where all our ideas will be shared, experiences will be exchanged, and connections that we all are gonna build for a lifetime. And so today we are laying the foundation for what we hope to become a lasting tradition for Hyderabad, right? So it's now my privilege to begin that journey with, let us take a moment to honor a tradition that symbolizes knowledge, wisdom and enlightenment. So it's now my privilege to invite our esteemed dignitaries to join us on the stage for the Deepa Prajwalan, or the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. So may I first invite our chief guest for the day, Mr. Pankaj, to kindly join us on the stage. Thank you, everybody. So, everybody, let's give a round of applause to our distinguished guest speakers, leaders for joining us on this special inaugural moment of SREday Hyderabad. Right. Thank you all of our dignitaries for lighting the lamp and setting the tone for today. So, thank you, everybody. So now, as the lamp shines brighter, may it remind us of something very important, that knowledge grows when it is shared, and our community will grow when everybody comes together like this, and innovation grows when curious minds challenge what is possible. And that is what SREday Hyderabad is all about. So it is a special day for us, not only because we are having the first SREday Hyderabad, but because we have the privilege for learning from leaders who have shaped industries, inspired teams, and driven innovation at scale. And while today is about technology, reliability, innovation, it is also about our community. So at its heart, it's a reflection of the SREday Hyderabad community. A community built on the belief that best learning happens when engineers come together and share experiences, exchange ideas, and grow together, and bringing the global SREday conference to Hyderabad. To formally welcome and share the vision behind SREday Hyderabad community and the journey that brought us here today, it's my pleasure to invite two individuals whose leadership, passion, and commitment have helped to make this day possible. Please join me in welcoming Vinay and Mark for the opening note. So everybody, let's give a warm round of applause for Vinay and Mark.
Mark, I came first. Short list first. So I used to say I am tall, but you make me feel inferior today. So I wanted to do a selfie. I can get you. So okay, there was an 100-slide deck I prepared. Mark said no. So seeing you all here, and I heard people walking here, and the rain started. I think I take it as a good sign. I prepared a long speech, but I have a session also. So I'll keep my talk for my session. I just want to say one thing. Thank you, the dignitaries, chief guests, leaders, everybody, and most precisely all the attendees here. Thank you. I'll give it to Mark. Let's hear from Mark, who is the SREday guy.
Hello everybody. As you know, I'm Mark. I'm very happy to be able to be with you today. I had a chance to visit the wonderful city of Hyderabad and discover for the very first time. So SREday, we met a couple months back with Vinay, and then a year back with Balaji, Shiva, and Clarence. After a successful edition last year in Chennai, we decided to do more. And the last week in Bangalore, today in Hyderabad, I'm stunned and very honored by how amazing your hospitality is here. And traveling here from London was a bliss and a pleasure. And today we are going to have a lot of insightful sessions, some interesting panels. So once again, thank you so much for all our esteemed guests, hosts, for having us today. And I hope you enjoyed the day of learning and insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Vinay, and thank you, Mark. Let's everybody give them another round of applause. So that was a very wonderful way to set the stage ahead for us. So today is more than just a conference today. It is a gathering of builders, innovators, leaders, and lifelong learners. So now, what better way to begin than by hearing from a leader whose career has been defined by innovation, transformation, and building organizations that shape the future. It's my privilege to introduce our chief guest for the day, Mr. Pankaj Ji. Mr. Pankaj today brings over 2 decades of experience in technology, business leadership, and digital transformation. What makes his journey truly inspiring is that he began his career at an IIT and today serves as its CEO. Over the years, he has held leadership roles across multiple organizations and contributing to the innovation and business growth of those organizations at scale. His journey is a powerful reminder that leadership is not just where you start, and we are absolutely delighted to have him with us today to share his insights and experience and his perspective on future of technology, leadership and innovation. Please join me in welcoming our chief guest today, Mr. Pankaj. And he has travelled here for us all the way from Gurgaon. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, she made me sound cool. Golden decades of experience. Every time someone introduces me like that, it tells me how long it's been since I've been working. And can you guys hear me at the back? Closer. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, Gurgaon's not that far, so we didn't have to travel too much. It's just a couple of hours by flight. Glad to be here, and thank you to the organizers of SREday Hyderabad for inviting us and giving us a chance to talk to you. I think it's a fantastic thing you're doing by building a community. The most important thing that helps any movement or anything new to start is a community that comes together and shares knowledge with people who are part of that community and who will take that community forward. Right? It's really good to see a room full of engineers, practitioners, mentors, learners, right, who will be part of this community which will take it forward. Now, also we've been hearing a lot about digital India, right, and the fact that as a country we want to move ahead to become a digital first nation, and it's part of the whole Viksit Bharat, etc. that we hear about. One of the most important things as part of becoming a digital ecosystem is reliability. Right? Just consider our lives right now. Typically, my morning starts with ordering something on Blinkit. I pay on UPI. When I travel, I use Digi Yatra. When on the road, if a cop stops me, asks for my driving license, I use DigiLocker. Right? All of these digital systems, I rely on them to work all the time. Right? If for that 30 seconds at the airport, if that Digi Yatra thing doesn't recognize my face, I'm irritated. Right? Then I'm not thinking, okay, this is maybe a technical fault somewhere, or it's a little bit of lag in the system. As a customer, I'm thinking, can I trust this system? Right? Is it going to work for me or not? Right? And every interaction that all of us work on we work on the plumbing that makes these things go. Right? Everything that we do finally results in trust. Right? The customer has to trust us, has to trust the output of what we are working on, and that's what makes systems go and gets people to adopt systems. The reason all of us use UPI all the time is because we can trust it. Right? We know that it will work. I think it was pre-COVID when we first started using UPI, and back then it was still a bit of touch and go. Right? You would still have shops which said, we don't use UPI over here, cash only, etc. But soon you can see the adoption. The street vendor is selling you $5 worth of fruits or vegetables, but he's willing to take UPI payments. I think that the reliability part of that ecosystem is what has helped get that kind of adoption going. Right? I've spent a large part of my career with Amazon. Again, it's a very tech-driven organization, and some of the interesting things there is also down to reliability. Right? If we, I'm sure all of you used Amazon in some way or form, right? Any guesses what is the uptime reliability that Amazon promises or Amazon holds?
9 nines. 9 nines.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, it's 4 nines, right? 99 followed by 4 nines. And what is the reliability promise of data integrity that AWS gives you? It's 11 nines, right? So that's the level of trust you're able to build in a system when you have that kind of a standard, where you're saying, okay, we will be there for you, we will make sure things work for you, right? And of course, it's also got global infrastructure, so they've got business continuity built in. If any one site goes down, there are other sites which will pick it up, etc. But let me give you a couple of stories from my time at Amazon, where we really pushed customers hard to trust us, right? We broke things and then we had to fix it to make sure that the customers still trust us. It's not strictly an engineering thing, more a business. I'm a business guy, so my stories will all be from the business side of things, right? So this was in 2013. We launched the sports category on Amazon.in, right? And it was the time of IPL, around April 2013. So one of the things we did, like all business guys, we wanted to do a gimmick to get more customers in and start transacting on the website. So one of the gimmicks we launched is we'll sell you t-shirts of IPL teams at the price of the winning score. Right? Now, very simple gimmick, and it adds that level of interaction from customers. Right? Nobody knows what the winning score is, so everyone's watching the match, everyone knows, okay, we can get t-shirts, and now you're rooting for all the teams to score low. Instead of usually you're rooting for the teams to score high. The thing that we missed was how enthusiastic customers are and how quickly they react. Right? The match got over, and that second the traffic spiked. Now, our systems would take at least 1 minute because someone had to manually update the winning score. We didn't know the winning score till the last ball was bowled. And in that 1 minute, there was a huge spike in traffic. There was a lot of social media saying, hey, you promised a deal, the deal is not working, your systems are broken, etc., etc. It was just a small promise that we had made. We should have realized a little earlier that it will take us a minute, right? And we could have fixed it differently. But that little bit of spike of trust, then of course we came good, we gave the deal, we tracked all the people who had come online, and we continued to build that trust. But that's reliability, right? When you're making a promise, if you're making a tall promise, you still have to meet it, right? As reliability engineers, it's our job to make sure every promise we make, we meet, right? And let me try and connect this to the flavor of current, right, which is AI. The whole evolution of this, the way it's happened, there used to be DevOps engineers who now become SRE engineers, who are now moving to observability engineers, and now AI built into that whole thing. At NIIT, we've been part of this journey. We've been around for about 45 years, and there was a time when every third engineer in the Indian IT industry was a GNIIT student. Right? I'm a GNIIT student, and I'm sure a lot of people here from my generation would have passed through the portals of NIIT at some point. So we've been working with a lot of customers in helping them come up the curve from becoming DevOps engineers to becoming SRE enabled to now enabling them with AI and helping them anticipate problems and resolve them before they happen. Right? So that's part of our contribution to building the community. And one of the things we've also done in Bangalore is build a community of digital architects. Right? It's the fact that it's taken us about, I think, 5 years to get to a space where it is now actually a community which shares, which works together. And I'm sure with Vinay and his contribution and leadership over here, we will form a similar community of SRE engineers, where you will all come together. And when does a community or an individual capability become a larger community? It's when you share openly, when you share your learnings, your failures, when you mentor the newer members, when you build a shared knowledge amongst all of us. That is when you will transform into a community. And I'm really looking forward to how this whole movement becomes a strong community of SRE engineers. So thanks a ton, SREday Hyderabad, for having me. And I'm sure it will be a great day where we'll learn a lot from all the experts who are here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really truly inspiring to listen all your stories. We are truly grateful for your time and sharing all of that with us. So, as a token of appreciation and gratitude, we would like to felicitate our chief guest. So, I would like to invite Mark and Vinay to felicitate our chief guest.
I would request Nag sir, who is our Google Cloud Delivery Head, and our AI Capability Building Head also to join us.
Thank you everybody. Thank you Pankaj once again. Let's everybody give a round of applause please, little louder. Alright. So one thing that I really love about conferences is that people usually arrive thinking they are here to learn from the speakers, and by the end of the day they realize they're also learning from the conversations that are having with the people around them. So our next session is exactly about that, because let's be honest, every engineer has at some point in their career looked at their leader and thought, how did they even get there? What did they do? What was their struggle? What did they do? Right? But what lessons do they wish someone had told them earlier? But what we have today is something even better. A chance to hear directly from leaders who have built teams, navigated challenges, made difficult decisions, and helped shape the organizations they lead today. And trust me, the combined experience on the stage is probably greater than the number of motivational posts on my LinkedIn feed in this week. So get ready for an engaging conversation filled with insights, experiences, and lessons learned, and perhaps a few stories you won't find on a resume. Now, every great panel needs someone who can steer the conversation, ask the questions we're all thinking about, and bring out the stories behind the titles. And we have exactly the right person for that. With nearly 2 decades of experience across data, analytics, technology leadership, and digital transformation, he has spent career helping organizations make better decisions through technology and data. He's also a very passionate mentor, community builder, who genuinely enjoys bringing people and ideas together. Today, he'll be guiding the conversation and introducing our distinguished panelists. So everybody, please join me in welcoming Snehit. Also, there's a fun fact about Snehit. Usually, we speak to AI, but AI also speaks to Snehit. We'll find about it soon. Over to you, Snehit.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Again, welcome. I know it's drizzling outside, but we will fire up with the conversations that we have here. So welcome to what I believe is one of the most important conversations that we will have at SREday Hyderabad 2026, and I'm sure it will set the tone for the remaining of the day with regards to the sessions or the topics. Not because of the technology or the topic that we'll discuss, but that underlying thread, that is the question that is underneath of all of that. So as systems grow, and they grow more autonomous, they grow more distributed, and more consequential, what does it actually take to keep them, or the humans that operate them, resilient, right? that's the underlying theme, that's the underlying question, that we will be tackling today. And we are here for a collision, I would say, of 5 different vantage points. And the first vantage point is, say, a Fortune 500 company. Second vantage point is someone who's like a platform builder, who has done it, have had their hands dirty in the ecosystem. Third, from a service integrator standpoint, from a services company standpoint, how does that look like? Fourth, from an engineering education standpoint, we have pipeline of academia that is feeding the engineering ecosystem. How do we look at it from the education lens? And then the last thing, of course, last but not the least, from a startup or an open source community standpoint. Again, we are an open source community here as well, right? So how do we tackle building resilient ecosystems from all of these 5 different vantage points is what we will try to do today using the panel. So let's get into it, right? And again, I'll introduce each of our panelists one by one. Please welcome them onto the stage with a big round of applause. First up, we have Jyotsna. Jyotsna Kuchmanji is a global technology executive with nearly 3 decades of experience driving enterprise transformation, platform engineering, digital innovation, and AI adoption. As a senior director, she leads large-scale platform modernization and AI-driven initiatives across healthcare. Her career spans leadership roles across APAC, Europe, and the United States, with strong focus on building global engineering organizations, customer experience transformation, data strategy, and technology-led business growth. Please welcome Jyotsna. Welcome, Jyotsna. Next up, we have Vinita. Vinita Jacob is a senior technology leader with more than 2 decades of experience leading cloud engineering, SRE, infrastructure ops, and digital transformation initiatives. She is currently a senior director of cloud engineering at Optum. She has built and scaled high-performing engineering organizations with deep expertise in cloud adoption, DevOps, AI ops, and enterprise ops. Prior to Optum, she spent over 20 years at Verizon leading large-scale SRE and cloud transformation programs. Welcome, Vinita. Next up, we have Nagarjuna Malladi. He's a AI and technology leader with more than 28 years of experience delivering large-scale enterprise solutions and driving innovation across global IT service organizations. At Tech Mahindra, he leads AI capability development and has held senior delivery leadership roles overseeing complex programs across multiple industries. He's a strong advocate for industry-academia collaboration. He's also a keynote speaker and a board member focused on advancing technology talent, AI adoption, and enterprise transformation. Welcome, sir, onto the stage. Next up, we have Vishnupriya Raghavan. Vishnupriya is a senior vice president and business head of enterprise IT business at NIIT Stackout. With a career spanning enterprise education, consulting, research, and workforce transformation, she specializes in helping organizations build future-ready talent and technology capabilities. She combines leadership experience across industry and academia with expertise in enterprise transformation, strategic leadership, and AI-enabled workforce development. She is also a published researcher in AI and emerging technologies. Welcome, Vishnupriya, onto the stage. And then our final panelist, we have Shiva Bhagwati. Shiva is a seasoned, forward-looking professional, co-founder and CEO of Guhatech, with around 2 decades of experience in SRE, solution architecting, performance engineering, capacity planning, and a very interesting term, chaos engineering, product development, automation, and setup SRE for large enterprise applications in various business domains. He is consistently recognized as a competent individual skilled at coordinating with cross-functional teams in a fast-paced environment to steer timely completion of project with budgetary constraints. So please give all of our panelists a big round of applause, and I'm going to take the hot seat. Can we have a couple of mics, please? So first up, we will start with Jyotsna. Jyotsna, you frequently champion a dual mindset framework, essentially, balancing the technical know-how, with the deeply human vibe of empathy and emotional intelligence at a Fortune company scale. So at that scale, failure is a mathematical certainty. We all know that systems fail, right? How do we drive a cultural shift towards true blamelessness so that engineering teams prioritize learning from incidents over fearing a priority on incident? How do we do that?
I think first of all, thanks for having me here. And I don't know how many of you know me, but I've been associated with the SRE for quite some time, and I've seen this from a handful of people who can fit into a 10-member team to the current crowd that is. So this is all kudos to all of you being over here. Thank you for being here. So to answer your question, right, even before we come to that, let's have an icebreaker. The first thing is we just finished summer, right? It is scorching hot, and just now everybody is talking about rains, but we had a horrible summer, very frankly. But have you noticed you wake up, once you wake up, you just start thinking about switching on the coffee machine, switching on the lights, switching on the ACs or switching off. Did anyone actually think about what are the minute decisions that are being taken by a group of people at the electricity board to ensure that you have that electricity at every single point of time, right? Or for that matter, when you go into any of the hospitals, so every surgery requires a lot of minute decisions that are being taken. We don't acknowledge any of those decisions at all. But something goes wrong, we are the first person to blame the medical negligence, the doctors, the nurses, anesthetists. We find a lot of people, the current goes off, the power is off, the first thing is saying, India, when will it actually change? I don't know, I see a lot of young crowd, but coming from us, during our exams, if we had 2 hours of power in the night, that means we were lucky. I'm not saying we studied under the street lights, don't get me wrong. But having that continuous power was a luxury for all of us, right, at our age. But today we take a lot of things for granted, just like how we take all of you for granted, right? Things go right, we don't care about you, we don't even actually acknowledge any one of you. But something goes wrong, there's a production issue. The first thing that we do is, who did this? Who's the junior engineer who is recently recruited into the team who has screwed this up, right? That is a culture that we are trying to change in all the Fortune organizations. And I think in all the GCCs, every organization, that is where we are bringing in the change, right? The problem is not who caused that problem, right? Or who was inexperienced. It is systems. We are humans. We are bound to make mistakes. The systems are supposed to be built in a matured manner to understand that humans will make mistakes, and we are going to learn from it. I think that's more important. That is a cultural shift that Snehit was actually talking about. And the first and foremost is, few years back, we had a production grade issue. And the moment we decided, okay, let's get all of us together and do a post-mortem, the first thing that we have seen is the room has gone silent. The managers have started supporting their team. No, it can't be my team. We have done a fantastic job. It doesn't matter who individual has caused it. Doesn't matter when you're in production grade. You're losing business. That's more important to organizations. The conversation shift over there is not about an individual, but to understand why an incident has occurred and can we prevent that particular incident from occurring going forward. How do we quickly learn, right? And how do you do that? By flipping the conversation from a person conversation to an incident conversations. As to why this could have occurred, did we have the right governance, did we have the right guardrails? More importantly, what can go wrong in SRE data? If you don't give the right telemetry, no system, no human can actually get it right. So did we do all of those things right? And are we going to work on it? And I think also as leaders, we need to start being vulnerable. Like, I failed at this, I should have done this. When you have that kind of a cultivation of a culture or a conversations, that's when people will start opening up. And you will have this fearless environment where every junior engineer or senior engineer will come and have the guts to tell you that I see a pattern, something is gonna go wrong. Can we do something about it? Again, I don't want to generalize this, but as Indians, we want to solve problems, not discuss about it. I think that is where the problem is, because even our senior leaders expect they can handle bad news. What they can't handle is non-transparency and ambiguity. I think that's the flipping of the conversation that we are doing, Snehit.
Awesome. So again, in today's world of AI and automation, I think fixing or defining the systems or building the systems, that can be resilient is a given, but AIs cannot solve the empathy problem. So very well put. Thanks for that perspective, Usma. I'll go to Vinita. Vinita, you have led SRE through multiple technology shifts. You have had your hands-on across over the last couple of decades, and we all know that building an internal developer platform is 20% technology, but 80% is about the culture, the product management perspective, right? What is your biggest lesson in overcoming developer inertia when moving teams away from just monitoring tickets or essentially ticketing ops into okay, you build it, you run it mindset? How do we make people accountable rather than just treating it as a run-of-the-mill day-to-day operations work?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, and that's a very, very valid one. And again, thank you for having me here. So I'm extremely pleased to be here. So I am primarily from Chennai, and I've come to Hyderabad to be part of this session because I am an SRE leader, and I've been in this space for a very long time. And as our chief guest told, so I was primarily an FLS engineer. I hope you all would have heard about the term first line support engineer. From there, I moved on to being a production support engineer, then tech ops, where we also do some part of DevOps, and now it is SRE, right? So that whole transformation by itself, I would say, has been a very, very long journey, very meaningful journey, lot of things for all of the people involved, to learn. Now going back to your question, so I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned while transforming teams from primarily a traditional ticketing model to a you build it, you run it, self-service model is that this journey is much more about people and culture than just technology, which you've rightly mentioned, right? So the platform is very, very important, but what is also equally important is how we help teams to unlearn the long established habits, and how do you build confidence in the new operation model. So while I've led several of these transitions, I realized that developer inertia is natural. So people are used to the very familiar processes, the ticket-based process, as they feel it is very safe and predictable, right? So that by itself. So first step for us was not in forcing a change. Rather, it was how do you build confidence in this system? And so what we started by doing is talking to the teams and making them realize that self-service would not add to the complexity. Rather, it will help to remove the friction, bring in that genuine ownership mindset, right? And also help to make their day-to-day task meaningful and a lot more faster. And what really helped us in this journey was also treating our internal developer platform more like a product and not a tool, right? So what that also means is listening closely to your developers, solving for the right pain points and continuously improving the experience. And over time, the mindset started to change, and people moved on from asking who owns this ticket to how can we solve this by ourselves. And I would say that was a real turning point. So this actually helped us to move from I would say reactive support to proactive engineering discipline, and from operational dependency to bringing in that genuine ownership model. Okay, so to summarize, I would like to say that the biggest lesson in some of these transformations is that successful transformation happens when people, product thinking and technology move hand in hand together. And if you get this balance right, the organization is not adopting just another platform, rather it's adopting new ways of working.
Awesome. Thanks for that. I think the ownership mindset, is the one that emerges out of what we need to do to ensure that we make people own the system and make sure that they are not just using it as a tool, but also being responsible for the outcomes of the platform itself. Thank you for that. We'll move on to Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna Maladi, you are a leader at a major service integrator, right? You work with a massive talent supply chain. There are a lot of people in the organizations that you have worked with, and you typically sit at an intersection of technological evolution and workforce readiness. You need to have people ready to be deployed on the ground. Whenever you are working with clients, etc. Right? What is your playbook? For maybe a tip for shifting engineers out of a reactive firefighting mode to a more proactive reliability first mindset. Maybe it can be the ownership part, but from a service industry standpoint, what is it that you feel should be necessary for these engineers?
Thank you, Snehit. Thanks for the question, and thanks organizers for having Tech Mahindra as your venue partner, and for wonderful speeches, and also the chief guest for coming over. On behalf of TechM, I want to thank you all first. Second, I would like to understand how many of us are Tech Mahindra here? Raise your hands. See, I think Snehit got the answer here. Why am I successful? Right? Why Tech Mahindra is successful in building not only SRE engineers but also that's the honestly speaking, we as a company keep people at the center actually, and as I basically we tell in the company that there are only three important stakeholders that we need to serve. Of course, society is the fourth one. Associate is the first one, second one is the investor, the Tech Mahindra, and the third one is our customers actually that we serve, right? So I think that perhaps I think kept us in the right position to build the talent that our customers want. As you know, we serve about 100 plus customers, right? And me as a leader, there are certain processes within the organization which will enhance the skills that our associates need. Keeping that aside, me as a leader, I believe, I think it is in 2003 the word SRE started becoming so popular. Honestly speaking, SRE is site reliability engineering. Personally, I felt Snehit as self-reliability engineering. Two words, success reliability engineering. It's like the career, right? In the AI, you are seeing it actually. When we were in, I think most of folks who are in IT in 2003 would make a relationship to what I'm trying to say. Unless you understand the site reliability engineering, the core architecting thing will never come into your mind. End of the day, everybody who is sitting in this room, all of us are software engineers. We call ourselves as software engineers, right? Software engineering as a term is driven by the core architecting and designing skills, right? Unless you think SRE direction, you will never get into that zone. Let me make it very simple for you, right? I came here in the morning, and I'm listening, and I'm seeing. To be frank with you, it is a site reliability engineering of my body, right? Many things are coming together, and I'm delivering something. If something doesn't go wrong, something doesn't go well, or something is going wrong, I'm getting a lot of headache, right? It is as easy as taking a Flexan tablet or ibuprofen or acetaminophen and feel happy about it. That is one way to handle it. Second way, typically the way doctors think, right? So this guy is getting headache. What could have gone wrong? Is everything right with the system? Like right from a simple, the nervous system or my BP, my pulse. And when you look at a system angle, right, you never know, there could be something else causing the headache, right? And one thing that I feel very happy about the field that we have chosen, the IT field that we have chosen, is it is very close to nature. And all of us are getting, when I say all of us, some of us are getting intimidated with what's happening in the market with AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Basically, we give a lot of importance to that word artificial. Take that out. It is intelligence. It is intelligence actually. We are generating intelligence. A human being is an intelligent. And site reliability engineering is no different from what we do in a day-to-day basis. Ma'am told a fantastic example, and in fact our chief guest also started with that fantastic example. It is going on for a while. The site reliability engineering is going on for everything, every aspect you see. When you get into the role of a software engineer, you think a little differently, you adapt it a little differently, you monitor it a little differently, and you show the metrics a little differently. End of it, you influence the outcomes in a positive way. What is the influence of outcomes? I don't know how many of you know the market itself on the SRE side is about $25 to $30 billion by 2030. And at this point in time, AI-led SRE is about 8.3 million. It is going to reach 20 billion by 2030 by 14.1 CAGR. That is a market actually. If you want to really pursue a career in SRE, phenomenal, you go there. And how would I look at myself? In a society, you have doctors, right? You have physicians, you have doctors, you have various specialists in the market. So you are similar to that. If your application is it becomes sick, you think like a doctor, right? A SRE engineer will think like a doctor. They go to the system and fix it. And I know Snehit alerted us yesterday that we should not take a lot of time. Let me come back to the playbook angle that you brought in, Snehit. I would keep it as a 5 major elements. I will sum it up for you so that you can take it back with you after attending this session. I call this as REACTS, R-E-A-C-T-S. I'll tell you what is R. Basically, somebody like me who has to practice SRE in my teams, I would redefine the success metrics for my support. That's what I would do. I don't care about the ticket count, rather I would care about the customer outcomes actually. That is the first one, right? R, redefine your success metrics. E is embed site reliability engineering in the career paths. Basically, before I make somebody as a lead for a specific patch, I will let him face the music for some time, understand what the reliability is, understand the importance of that, and make him as a lead. The second one, that is embed reliability, site reliability engineering as a career path. Third one, automate, and encourage the talent, which is automating it actually. Like anything that is coming in, always think automation. This world is full of automation, right? So you think about it as a third dimension I'll take. And the fourth one, see the angle. Madam told about it, the culture and governance. You build SRE as a culture, as a mindset, right? You need to basically get that in. Next one is the T, that is talent. Keep the talent ready with necessary knowledge. It's not so difficult, right? It basically the basic fundamentals of SRE till observability. We make them aware. Basic courses and advanced courses. And the final one, most important one is systematic learning. You have to learn from the system actually. I'm summing it up for you again. First R, redefine your success metrics. Embed SRE as your career path. Automate is the third one. Make it as a culture, that is the C1. Keep the talent ready always with the right skills. And the final one, keep learning. That is systematic learning. I call that as REACTS. That is my playbook. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks for that. The REACTS framework, right? That basically gives us a very nice segue into our next panelist, Dr. Vishnupriya. Dr. Vishnupriya, you sit at the intersection of academic rigor and the corporate transformation. So you are so today's academic courses, for example, they are heavily focused on syntax and tooling, for instance, right? In the REACTS framework, from the REACTS framework, the last one is systemic learning, right? How do we restructure, say, engineering education, whether it is building academic pipelines or whether it is, say, B2B corporate training also, essentially? How do we frame that structure of the education to teach deep non-syntax skills, such as systems thinking, for example, or resilience engineering, or debugging under pressure that, say, modern SRE teams demand, in this, AI-driven world. How do we do that?
Very good question, Snehit. Thanks for asking that question. I am reminded of this beautiful story from Mahabharata. How many of you know Abhimanyu in Mahabharata? What do you remember when I say Abhimanyu? Chakravyuha, right? Abhimanyu was able to go into the Chakravyuha, but he was not able to get out of it. And if you really ask me, our engineering education today or our academic skilling teaches you to be Abhimanyu. But the reality is you're getting into a Chakravyuha. Getting them, we are able to code. The developers today, the software engineers today, with the engineering education that we have today, we are able to write code, you are able to build applications, you are deploying platforms, but when you get into the platform, there is so much of complexity that when systems fail, are you able to get out of it? I don't think our engineering education today is able to teach that, and modern SRE demands that kind of capability. Do engineers understand the dependencies? Do you understand the blast radius? Are we getting the engineers to the software engineering education that we give, the engineering education? Are they able to recover gracefully? Are they able to learn the mistakes without blame, which is really what we call as post-mortem, the blameless retrospectives, right? So I don't think we are doing that today. So in NIIT, we have moved that, we have done that paradigm shift. We have moved away. Number two things that we definitely have to do across engineering education. One is move away from content coverage to demonstrable outcome. And number two, tools are important. You need Grafana, you need Prometheus, you need all of this, but the focus cannot be only that. It cannot be focus on tools depth, but it has to be more on the depth of engineering judgment. If you really ask me, we have to move back to our ancient Indian wisdom. The Guru Sishya Parampara was not about lectures. The Guru Sishya Parampara was not about transfer of knowledge. It was about reflection, it was about introspection, it was about repeated practice, it was about questioning, it was about finally show the outcome. Right? Thanks.
Amazing. Yeah, I think we all need to remember, and I think with all of the courses that are out there, millions of courses that are out there, I think they are so much focused on just throwing out the content, but they are not focused on how are we building the outcome from the content, right? So I think it's a great way of putting it that we are trying to train the Abhimanyus, but we are not training them for tackling the Chakravyuh, right? Thank you so much for that. And Shiva, you bring 20 plus years of massive enterprise reliability and lean grassroots startup world, right? We talked about the Fortune 500. We talked about someone who has built systems at scale. We talked about the services industry, what the React framework. We talked about academic, but I think Gen Z today, they are very well. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, or everyone wants to have the startup of their own, or they are active contributors to the open source world, right? For organizations that are just starting their reliability journey, without say a Fortune company budgets, for instance, right? How can they leverage community resources that are available? Something maybe that is open source, right? And lean SRE as a service models to build strong engineering culture from day one. So, for instance, if you are putting up a startup, how do we ensure that SRE is in the DNA from day one?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful question, which is much needed, and happy to be part of this wonderful auditorium here with a group of people traveled across the places. And so just coming to this question, the startup culture, right? So we're being part of the startup community and work with most of the startup friends and also the community side. So first thing, what I would recommend when they have a business vision and a product idea when they start building. So just build for reliability as well, so apart from the features. So when I say that, so people consider in building whatever the business problem that they're solving, but at the same time give the same kind of credit or importance to the non-functional requirement as well. So that's why build for scale, reliable and secure product. So that's very important because once you launch it and the customers start using it, and if you engage like again an SREs, will come and say the same thing because you're building a backlog, right? So at least when designing, start thinking about putting basic simple things. I mean, now we're using all whiteboard platforms where if you just put a prompt specific to this, like build timeouts, right? Build retries, build circuit breakers, and build like an observability. Now we like hotel is like one of the biggest thing in the CNCF. So start embracing and implementing the auto instrumentation. We don't have to touch the code. It auto instruments and start emitting metrics. Right, so once you have a build there, then next I would recommend to go for the observability layer, which is important in the open telemetry based. So what a couple of our friends and the clients that we work with, they start sending the data to different people. For example, if they want to start measuring who are all coming, so the analytics go to some freeware there. And they have obviously Grafana Prometheus is there for the backend, and there are some other things where the gaps are. So the problem when we start looking at the holistic, so we have to go on multiple tools, right? So that's a common challenge. So that's why I always recommend use hotel-based unified observability because data is a gold mine, right? So we need all the data come to a single place. Then even if you want to use that for business growth, analyze how the users are using it. So that's where unified observability built for the place common coming there. That's the second I would recommend. And the third, obviously, the culture, right? So we talked about blameless postmortem automation and everything is there. That's very important because if you, from a day one, if you start looking at, then there's an issue comes in, right? So how we are actually collaborating and encouraging people to start dealing it. It's an opportunity. Every problem is an opportunity.
So if you build a system for 4 tolerance capabilities like load, latency, fault, and data is very important. If there is any change in the data, like the LLMs are like there is a data drift and model drift, so how are you measuring it, right? If systems are protected for these 4, then obviously we are going to have a better, scalable, and reliable products.
Awesome. So, anyone who's an entrepreneur out there who wants to, who are building startups, right? Don't have SRE as an afterthought. Make sure that it is part of your framework, and when you are pitching it, make sure that you also pitch that as one of the important paradigms. Right? I think great advice. So let's address the elephant in the room. Any guesses? AI, right? So we have more than 200-300 SRE enthusiasts here today. Based on everything that we discussed from the 5 vantage points, right? Platform shifts, AI evolution, and looking ahead, 3 to 5 years, right? With the rapid rise of agentic or AI-specific, paradigms or operations, right? What is one technology or trend, you all believe would fundamentally disrupt how we approach site reliability engineering? What's your one call to action for the community? And more importantly, is the industry ready for it? We'll start with Dr. Vishnupriya. Maybe quickly, in 1 minute, how would you say we tackle this in an AI-driven world?
See, 2 things. I feel internal developer platforms will become the new operating model for reliability. They will become, because a lot of the AI and autonomous agents are going to be doing a lot of work. SRE will also not be a very focused discipline. A lot of that will also get extended to a lot of the other engineering mindset and the discipline itself. Number 1. So that is the shift that is going to definitely happen. A lot of it will come onto the internal developer platforms by itself, is my opinion. Second question you asked is are we ready for it? The industry is on a journey. I don't think we are ready for it. We definitely need a better platform thinking. We need better reliability. We need, as a culture, and the mindset that all of them spoke about. Main thing is on systems thinking. They are my 2 points. Thanks.
Awesome. Josna?
If you asked this question 5 years back or 3 years back, I would have said observability, right? But last year, I would have probably said AI ops, where AI is kind of recommending what needs to be done after doing all the analysis. But 3 years down the lane, I think that's too far. The technology is changing at such a rapid pace. I don't think there's going to be this thing. But I would say agentic operations with human governance is something that is going to stay. But if you're asking me an advice for all of the people, please reinvent yourself. I was having a conversation yesterday with some of the leaders, and there are new roles that are coming up. I don't know how many of you know this or not. AI context engineers. And these are people who actually give the context to AI on what it should do, right? And then there is a AI harness engineer, right? So there are new roles that are evolving. You don't have the same luxury of what we had, because we could sit comfortably 10 years in a role, but you don't have even 6 months to sit in your own role. So keep reinventing, keep understanding what is happening, and keep yourself super agile. I'm not talking about agile technologies, but keep yourself dynamic and agile to adopt with the new changes that are coming up.
Thank you, Josna. Shiva?
Yeah, I quote the same thing 3 years down the line, especially in SRE. So whatever currently we have SRE agents, which actually build infrastructure, which actually finds RCAs and recommend a few things. But what we are lacking now is that autonomous decisions, where we don't believe, we've seen news like agents go and delete the production databases and we have to recover from backup and all. But that is the clear ownership and accountability is currently there. So that's where industries, though we have a lot of investments in the AI SRE products there, but still the agentic SRE is where everybody is after. And are we ready for it? I don't think so, because still the one other key problem is that observability. That's the foundation of everything, right? So we still have gaps in the observability where we don't get signals from some other stacks which we could not correlate, even the agents cannot do. So we have to fix that first and start thinking about how we can build do a policy engine or policy as a code, kind of mature there to reach there. But eventually that I see in 3 years down the line, that's
Awesome. Thank you, Shiva.
Yeah, so even I'll add to the same point. So I think what would disrupt SRE in the next 3 to 5 years would be the rise of autonomous and agentic operation, where the AI agents are not just recommending actions, rather they are empowered to take operational decisions on our front, right? So that is where I think SREs also have to reinvent ourselves, right? So historically we've been building reliable systems, but I think we should now focus to build reliable decision-making systems, right? So that would be the need of the hour. And if you ask me what is the call to action for all of us, right? Since I believe most of us are SRE engineers here in some way or the other, I think we have to rethink reliability, right? So as of now, it is uptime, latency, error spikes. But what would be it, right? After 3 to 5 years, I think that is where you will have the drift threshold, right? And some of the other things, correctness, all of this will get added. And then redefine observability. Yeah, in addition to metrics, log spaces that we have today, I think what we also need to look at is the prompts, the responses, the tool calls, data lineage, so a lot of stuff, right? And then bring in that governance, bring in that guardrails. Again, SRE, I believe, would be at the control plane. So all this while we've been managing infrastructure behavior. So I think our role also will change. So we'll be looking, governing system behavior and, decision quality. So that is how SRE role also I see would evolve. Now again, to your question, are we ready yet? I would think partially, because technologically I think we are making a lot of progress. We have tools, we have dashboards, we have automation framework, all of that. But operationally and culturally, I don't think we are there yet. Primarily, there are trust issues. I don't think we would trust an agent might be automatically roll back a production code that is impacting millions of customers, right? So I don't think we are there yet with respect to the trust. But again, my strong belief is that the future is not won by industry that has the most AI. Rather, the future is won by the industry that has the most trustworthy AI. And SRE can be that discipline that can convert autonomy to accountable autonomy. So we all have a good role to play, but as they all mentioned, I think we have to reinvent ourselves, we have to keep upskilling and do not worry about disruptions.
Thank you. To summarize.
Yeah, basically, all the life I'm living like a business leader, right? So, how I drive myself is like, I don't know how many of you know, most of you would know. In a minute, Amazon makes, do you know how much money they make? Anybody? How much of the revenue they make in a minute? 1.1 million. Per second, they make about $20,000 per second. In a day, they make about $1.7 billion. So that's really, to me, it's like when I said at the beginning, right? Redefine your success measures. For example, if I'm supporting Amazon as a customer, my success measure would be, right now, per minute, Amazon is influencing 1.21 million revenues. Can I make it 1.25 million? That's my success measure. To do that, can I get AI? Honestly, as I mentioned to you, AI is my companion. I'm an engineer. I engineer stuff. In the process, I use computers. In the process, I'm going to use AI. That's how I look at it. AI is sitting next to me. It's like Einstein sitting next to me. I can tell anything and everything to it, it gets it done for me. That means in the process of making 1.25 per million per minute, I'm going to use AI. What is the advantage I get to the, ma'am talked about mindset. What is the advantage that I give to the customer is first defined. The cultural shift, the mindset shift. SRE brought us into a zone where we became proactive from reactive. From reactive to proactive we became. AI will give me one more step ahead. It makes me predictive. From a reactive to proactive to predictive. How? Sir was talking about data. Right? I'm sitting on data, he talked about it. Data is like oil. Data is like gold. Whatever is a precious metal that you think of, that's data. If you understand data and analyze it using all these algorithms, you are there. And coming back to the second section of this question, right? Are we ready? Are we ready? We are getting ready. Let me throw some numbers to you. India as a country, in 2024 we made about 1.105,000 patents. It's a phenomenal number compared to 2023 numbers, 65,000 versus 105,000, which is very good. We filed patent, we are innovating, we are researching, we are innovating. That quotient is growing. But the problem is, when you compare yourself as a country with the United States of America, the similar number is 8.25 lakh patents got filed from US. Much more intimidating, China filed about 16.25 lakh patents. Honestly speaking, don't limit yourself. Sky is the limit here. How can I innovate using AI? Every area is an area for innovation. Why not site reliability engineering? Like ma'am was talking about, don't go for tools. No, never go for tools. Stay on the concept side. And sir has used a nice word, I don't know how many of you caught it. Functional versus non-functional requirements. That's a terminology he used. Non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements. Everybody's life is there. Extendability, maintainability, security, portability. Can I innovate? Can I use this Einstein sitting next to me as AI and become more powerful and add value to my customers like Amazon? Is what we need to think. Are we ready? We are not ready, but India it's not new to us. Everything is new to us, right? When we got into the market, we adapted ourselves. That is our power. India as a country, we are adaptive country. We are agile, like Madam told, we are agile. We pick it up so quickly. So finally, focus on core fundamentals. Matter, don't get caught, don't get amused by the ChatGPTs, DeepSeeks, Geminis, Gemmas. Try to see what is running behind the scene. Can I really build an LLM for India is something that we need to think. Unfortunately, even if you build it, we don't have an operating system in India. Unfortunately, as a country, right? Even if you build a great thing, you have to deploy it in somebody else's operating system, unfortunately. So innovation is what I would say. As a country, we are lacking that. Go back to the fundamentals. This is the time. Statistics, probability, mathematics, and wonderfully engineering physics. Quantum is coming. It's at the doorstep. Engineering physics, chemistry. Please focus there. Innovate. Get your own patents. And of course, site reliability engineering, our scope is getting increased. Yeah. Right now, I'm supporting all the. I was addressing one RFP. I can't reveal the customer name. The RFP name is MLOps and Agentic AI, like ma'am was telling, MLOps and Agentic AI support to one of the customers means what? You will have some agents also need to be supported, LLMs need to be supported, indexing, annotating, optimizing, all of that is going to come in. That means we have to learn it. But on top of it, what should I learn is that we need to focus on. I know it took a little more time, but thank you so much for the question.
Thank you so much. So to summarize, my take of the question for is the industry ready? I think the technology is ever evolving, the platforms are ever evolving. The community, which is all of you, the community that is in this room here, I would say needs to do three things: rise to the occasion, react to where the industry is going, and be ready to redefine, right? And ultimately, as to summarize, a good point that we'll need to know the why instead of how, right? And that is more important. Big round of applause to all of our exceptional panelists, 5 different topic points. Thank you SREday Hyderabad for the opportunity, and let's go build something resilient. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Sneha, and thank you all the leaders for sharing their experiences today. And we got to learn a lot from you. And so, as a token of appreciation, I would like to invite Mark on the stage to felicitate our leaders. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for the amazing discussion that we had. So first, can I call upon Nagasha to come? Everybody, let's give a round of applause. Dr. Vishnupriya ma'am to come onto the stage, and Mark to please present her vision. Everybody, let's give a round of applause. Let's try not stop. Yeah. Discussion. I would request you to please be seated. Thank you so much. Thank you. So everybody, today we are really privileged to be joined by a women in tech leader, Elizabeth Samuel. She's the head of technology, Sanofi, and I would like to invite her onto the stage. Everybody, let's give a round of applause. Could you please switch on the lights? I would like to invite Mark again to felicitate us. Everybody, let's give a round of applause again. I would like Elspeth to speak a few words for everybody here.
Hello. Hi. Thanks everyone, and it's great to see such a good audience of enthusiasts, technology enthusiasts. Yeah, and I heard a lot of good things today. Learned quite a few. I am, I think, a veteran now. Somebody said 20 plus. I'm 25 plus years in the industry. At the moment, have seen multiple S-curves. Start of the .com and the .com boom, the 2008 crash, and quite a lot of industry shifts. However, the current industry shift, which is on AI, has been like, it is coming at a pace that sometimes it's hitting us literally every day. So, at this pace of change has not been seen before, and I think everybody here in the audience would agree to it. So, what, from a reliability engineering standpoint, I think something has remained constant. So, the experience that I have is also primarily in the domain of life sciences and healthcare. And one passion that has, been with me from the time I started within this domain has been the user experience. Users in this healthcare domains range from doctors to patients to scientists who actually discover the drugs, and their experience has been the core of whatever I have been doing. And I'm really passionate about it because I feel that we can make the world not disease-free but lesser diseases than we see today. And for that, we need that entire ecosystem and the users in that ecosystem to be supported better by tech. And I think we are in a great space at this moment right now for doing that. What is at the heart of that user experience? I think everybody spoke about it. It's resiliency. Resiliency, reliability, as you term it. And I think engineering is at the heart of that resiliency. To me, that is what it is. When we build products, we build it resilient. We give the features to the users, and for them to use, we need to make sure that they can, I think it was you who said that, they can trust that platform that is there, right? They know that, tomorrow I needed to do X amount of work, I need to ship X amount of medicines, I need to, be able to do so many, the representatives need to do so many number of calls. I am able to do it. I plan my day, my work, my impact to society around that platform, and that platform has to be resilient. So my thinking is that people in this room, technologies will shift. Of course, the pace of technology is changing rapidly, but as long as we are curious, we are learning, and we have an engineering mindset that I will understand how this tool works right up to the, behind what happens behind the scene. I have put in my engineering mindset of understanding the why. I think curiosity, learning, and then, nothing can stop us. And whether it's in India, whether it's anywhere else, I think those are the core engineering principles that we should always carry. And yes, we build for resiliency, and there is a user community out there, and they make an impact. Thanks.
Elizabeth, for sharing your experiences, insights, and your leadership journeys with us. It was a very great conversation that we had. So if there's one thing that stood out, that it's that every successful leader has a different journey, different experience, different challenges, and different lessons. But they all seem to have one thing in common, that they never stop learning. And speaking of people who are constantly learning, building, and sharing, our next speaker is someone who wears multiple hats. He's an SRE leader, he's a community builder, and someone who looked at Hyderabad and thought, you know what the city needs? You may think it's Rani Chai or biryani, but no, he thought that we needed a better SRE community. So, and then actually went ahead and built one. Now that the thing, now I would like to invite Vinay onto the stage. Yeah. So, Vinay is professionally a senior principal SRE and director at Optum with nearly 2 decades of experience. But many know him as the owner of SRE Hyderabad LinkedIn community. A community built on a simple belief that SRE isn't just about uptime, it's about culture, it's about people, and it's about helping others learn and grow. Today, he joins us to speak about something incredibly relevant. How do we take years of experience, lessons learned, knowledge gained, and make that expertise accessible and scalable for everyone? Let's find out. Over to Vinay.
Give us a minute. I'm setting up the Zoom link for the presentation. Hey everyone. So while Rajendra is helping me, that's how SREs help each other. So it's a help. SRE is helping me to set up the infrastructure for the meeting now. Okay. So before that, I'll confess myself. I'm not going to talk anything ALLM or anything, and I'm not going to do demo for the first time. So AS will take care of the demos in few seconds, right? So let's talk the human perspective, where the humans are, right? So where the SRE should be focusing more. His SMEness, expertise, right? Where is he good at? Okay. And I was talking to many of the co-speakers and leaders yesterday. There were a lot of lessons learned, and I see that every lesson learned was from an experience, and every experience shared was a story. And today's my conversation is all about storytelling. There are 3 stories. I'll keep it short because my time is taken by Snehit, the AI guy. So I'll try to keep it short, my 3 short stories. As it comes up, we'll start with the first story. This is the first speaker session, so we're trying it for the first time.
So everybody, till we are getting things fixed. So we'll play a quick game. All right. So when I say 1, 2, and I want everybody to shout "Hey," just to bring up our energy. Alright? And every time I say that 1, 2, hey, the next time it should go higher than the previous one. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2. Little louder. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Great. So how you all liking the sessions today?
Great. Awesome.
Great. Okay. Nice. So we are just about to get this thing fixed. So you must all have traveled from very far off. Did you all travel from very far off places today?
Yes.
To be here? Yes. I think Mark has traveled like really far. Like yes. And it was raining, so I think it was difficult, but it was great that you all made it here today. And today we have an amazing line of speakers coming up after the coffee break also, and it is going to be a great day ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, we have a selfie booth outside. So outside there. So in the coffee break, you can take pictures and post it on your social medias and view. Sorry. Yeah, so it is outside, so you can do that. And we see that few people have not yet registered. So people who have not yet registered, please go and get yourself registered at the registration desks and take your patches and your meal coupons. Yes, so yeah, right now.
Thank you, Muskan, for covering it up. Yeah. Okay, as I said, like the learnings are from experiences, and always an experience carries a story. And this is a conversation where I'll be sharing 3 stories. Before that, right? So as an SREday, let's spend quick 10 seconds about SRE, because everybody knows SRE. Most of them doing it in day in, day out, on calls, war rooms, pages, right? But what else SRE does? Because Naksar was saying that we have to do a lot of things. People were saying, Vishnupriya ma'am was saying that people get into Chakravyuha, right? And Pankaj was saying we have to share the knowledge. Why do you think so? Those profound statements are valid in a current day world? Because SREs are not just a one task person, right? He has to bring the reliability, resiliency, stability, and bring that insights, analyticals, and observability into the system. So it's not kind of a, I have done for today and I'm done, right? So there's a lot of things an SRE has to accomplish for a stable and reliable application, and help Amazon to grow big, run big, right? So I will not deep dive on this. This is kind of a thing what we do as an SRE, and most of you are already doing. And as I said, today I'm not going to talk about AI specific. We're talking about SRE engineering practices and how an engineer on SRE should be working in a AI world, right? Because we engineers learn, we solve the problems, and we share experiences, right? And today the question is not about should I use AI or not, right? Because AI exists already. So we should be thinking how should we do engineering differently, what we were doing yesterday, because AI already exists. As I said, 3 stories about 3 engineers, but 1 SRE mindset. The story 1. Are you guys excited? Yes. Okay. The first story is about our command chacha. So if you are from Hyderabad or from India, so generally in household things, you might be saying, right, hey chacha, can you help me with that? Chacha, can you take this key to there, right? So like that, the command chacha, he's a walking Kubernetes wiki guy, right? He doesn't need any documentation. He was the documentation. So he's a Kubernetes expert. So you don't need to tell him what to do. You just ask him and he get the things done, right? But do you think the command chacha, who is an expert in Kubernetes, all those command kind of things, will have a good sleep nights and have a good work-life balance. How many of you think the command chacha with this expertise will be having good night sleeps going forward? Any hands? Yeah, rightly said. Because this is what happens when you are an expert, right? People come to you. A developer will ask, hey, I have just deployed, the logs are not flowing. Can you run the command and check me whether the logs are going? Someone will say like, hey, it's working in my local. Hey, it's not working in the server. Can you check whether the service is up and down or not, right? And the production guy says like, I don't see the logs at all. And maybe when we ask the testers, they say, what is the URL for testing? Can you give me the ingress URL, right? Can you give me the gateway URL? So, Command Chacha, being an expert, is being available for everyone, but he is getting trained every day because of the trivial things. But what he should have been doing, the core SRE principles, that's missing altogether. He's just been kind of available for a, he's been an executor of somebody's request, right? Do you think so? Everybody agree? SRE, platform engineers, DevOps, many reaches to us with these trivial things where we can offload, right? Like, who was saying that? Nagsar, AI companion. So what should Command Chacha should have done? I would suggest also, bad AI generation, it was my image sleeping, so forget it. So Command Chacha should have thought, hey, I know the context, I know what it needs. He should have built an AI companion for him to do the trivial things, right? Maybe an agentic skill or a AI plugin, right? Or a AI agent, right? Which takes the inputs from the requesters and execute it for them, and where the Command Chacha can sip his Irani chai and work on his core SRE principles. How many are with this concept, right? We need Command Chacha to be using AI rather than Command Chacha to be the real Chacha and struggling, right? Okay, that was story one. It was quick. As I said, it's short stories, experiences. Coming back to story two. So this is where most of us, how many of you attend any war room or pager calls? Okay. What is the first thing after you join the pager call? They say, if you have a leader or manager in the call, they ask what is happening, right? Even though you just joined, he was there from half an hour, he'll ask you what is happening, right? Instead, we should ask what is happening, please apprise me, right? Right? So, and the TCC guy will, command center guy who is running the calls says like, when will you restore? The support guy says, hey, I was checking the dashboard, it was green, right? All this happens. So, we need somebody like Sherlock Shabir, because when everyone is asking what happened, he's asking, did we even do proper instrumentation, right? Did we even do telemetry to spit out the golden signals or the melting, the metrics, errors, logs, traces? Because Sherlock Shabir is good at doing RCA. If you give me a problem, the Sherlock Shabir will weld into the things and he'll get the RCA done. Okay? But what is happening with Sherlock Shabir again, like Command Chacha? He's being an expert. So, everybody reaches to him, right? Everybody bounce on him and asks to do an RCA and tell what's happening. But what's the problem Sherlock Shabir is not resolving, right? Sherlock Shabir is just addressing the issue, problem, helping the things, but he's not scaling it to the next level. And the same thing happens like Chacha, that he will be focusing on restoring the incidents or doing a reactive work rather than be a proactive and bringing the stability or reliability into the applications. What can Shabir should have done? So there's a lot spoken these days, like more than last 1-2 years. AI is everywhere. Yeah, it has reshaped a lot of engineering practices. Definitely, it has reshaped our software development life cycle. So now nobody is saying SDLC, everybody is saying AI DLC, right? Because AI writes the code, AI tests the code, AI deploys the code, AI does the unit testing, everything, and pushes, right? So AI DLC is good, right? But most of the time, you guys can agree with me, there is a war room issue happen and everybody comes into an RCA, and one next action item in RCA is improve observability. Get the metrics which will help us to find faster. But where will it land up? It will land up as a bug or a defect in the rally story. Do you think observability is a bug or a defect? It should be a feature, actually. It should be as good as a functional feature, your vital business function feature, right? So, our suggestion to Shabir, if he has to have a good sleep nights and get a good dashboard setup and his investigation to make it easy, the observability should be left shift, right? And leverage the AIDLC and implement observability as a feature in the early days so that the required telemetry is available for us to bring the Grafana dashboards or Splunk dashboards or Dynatrace dashboards, right? Whatever you call. The third one is close to everyone and everyone feel it every day at least once. The knowledge Nawab. Okay? The knowledge Nawab is like, this guy doesn't own any document, okay? The documents belong to the corporate, but this guy has what document, where it is, he has a map of everything. You ask him a SharePoint thing, he gives you a link. He asks you disaster recovery document, he gives that link. He asks you the performance testing, he will give you that link, right? So he has that everything, and he's feeling, we feel that, right? When somebody asks something, you feel proud, right? And you want to be the center of everything and be the pivotal of everything, right? Do you think knowledge Nawab will be a Nawab, or he just go Garib on the sleep? How many think he'll go Garib on the sleep if he does this way and he's the pivotal point of information? Right? Definitely. You want to see how the Nawab is now? So this is Nawab. Now because he's the only one person who knows everything. Everybody is reaching to him. Right? And he's working more than 15-16 hours, and he has like more than to-dos to reply than do the SRE work. What would we suggest, being in AI first engineers? I would suggest the Nawab means is the great person, right? Like the highest king. We should make him god of information, not a blocker for information. So he should have done a custom agent copilot or a chatbot, right? Or a chat GPT, right? Or a Gemini gem. Consolidate all the information because he has the context, he has the mapping. Just give it as a shareable AI artifact. Right? As Pankaj was saying, because none of my leaders and chief guest conversations have been framed, it was good fundamental foundation for my conversation. It started with Pankaj saying it should be a shareable knowledge. Yes, you should share the expertise because you cannot grow SREs. So SREs comes with the experience and it takes time to grow as an SRE. But what we can share as an SRE SME experience, because of AI, as a AI companion, as Napsa was saying, we can have the AI companion do the contextual knowledge we have and share it, right? And we do the golden signals, melt signals, the cream of high availability, disaster recovery, right? So those were my 3 short stories. I think I'll call them 3 musketeers of SRE because they are SMEs, right? And 1 SRE mindset. So do you want to be a Command Chacha or Sherlock Shabir or Knowledge Nawab? I don't want to be any one of them, to be fair enough. I want to build companions, AI companions for them. I want to make free Command Chacha, Sherlock Shabir and Knowledge Nawab go for drink a beer or sit on a chai and discuss and his or their expertise be still available for all of the engineers doing the work, right? That was my talk, but as a SREday Hyderabad, right, I want to share something which every one of you or most of you guys are already part of one demo, the sharing knowledge demos. Most of you have posted on LinkedIn that I am attending this event. How many posted on LinkedIn I am attending this event? Yeah. So all of you used that AI prompt?
Yep.
Yeah? So that's a shareable knowledge. That was Knowledge Nawabi with SREday Hyderabad touch. Right? Thank you guys. That was assisting to autonomous for the self-service. And one last thing I want to share is most of the engineers problems are not lack of information. They are there. It's the problem is information access. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay, for introducing us to Command Chacha, Sherlock, Shabir, and Knowledge Navar. It was a great session. So, alright. So, we have, it was a great session by Vinay. Let's have another round of applause for him. So, now, looking around the room, I think we have all earned a coffee break. Do we all want a coffee break?
Yes.
Okay, great. So luckily, that's what we have next. That is a coffee break, and so it's time to recharge, refuel yourselves for the upcoming sessions. But before we go, there are a couple of things that I want to say. First thing, after this session, we'll be opening up for track 1 and track 2. So people who had received the emails for joining track 2 would be joining to track 2 after this session. And around 11:50, 10 minutes before the coffee break ends, we will have a quick trivia and question and answer round here in both track 1 and track 2. So whoever wins that would be getting goodies. So if you come early, we'll be picking out few people from the trivia and a chance to win exciting goodies. So thank you everybody. We'll meet you after the coffee break. Thank you.
Stream stop here.
Also everybody, can we all assemble here before we leave for the coffee? Please join here near the stage. May I request all the speakers to please join us on the dais. Our speakers, leaders. All the speakers, our speakers, leaders, everybody please join us on the dais.
Photograph from here.
Everybody can come.
Guys, standing here, please come here. Fast. Quick.
Just hold for 5 more minutes. I'm getting a bigger camera to cover everything.
SREday Nawab, Vinay.
So this is our data.
You guys, you can join this one. जो यहाँ है वो घुटनों पे बैठ सकते हैं। देखना जो तो कौन कौन है। Please, quick, fast. Are you not saying anything? And then video. So let's go 1, 2, 3, SREday Hyderabad. Okay? I'll give a count. And then ready?
Yeah.
Yeah? 1, 2, 3.
SREday
Hyderabad!
Thank you.
Hello? I request everybody to please stay over there.
हम जा सकते हैं
हो गया
Everybody, just 2 minutes. We are ready here. Please, please, please. I know we are Hyderabadis, we need the chai, but just 2 minutes for the chai.
Recording, guys. Now you can. It's a video.
SREday Hyderabad.
We'll take 2 more shots as we are waiting to cover everyone.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
स्टॉप है रहा है पॉज है रहा है
Thank you.
అక్కడే పెట్టిందేమోనే అక్కడే పెట్టి ఇక్కడ తీసుకొచ్చి
ఇంకేమీ లేదు. ఇంకా అయిపోలే. మనం వాష్రూమ్ వేద్దాంపా. ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్ అంట.
Anyone want to be the sessions? We are promoting. Hyderabad is fully back.
No, because one of my other friends he works in Japan.
Yeah.
But I don't know what vertical is. I don't big organization. I saw his Instagram story. He was in Coimbatore for some launch of new office or something that happened.
He's asking any influencer
I asked her to arrange breakfast at Annapurna.
Okay.
It's there, but that's okay. Everybody can have it. Enough minutes. Generally, we thought of it.
everybody up. But what happened is just before the break of session, then curiosity so it will find people. So you are the what to say, icing on the cake actually. अरे सर और कैसे हो? घर पे भाई? सुदीप भाई अरे कहाँ? अच्छा
like it.